Welcome back to the Now Morning Show on TGT. Raucous, Natalie and Natasha in your company. We're with you all the way till 8 o'clock this morning, and we have a really exciting conversation coming up talking about the Child Rights Ambassador program. We have with us this morning Bertrand Moses, the coordinator of Child Affairs from the Office of the Prime Minister, and the Child Rights Ambassador, Ajay Gordon. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thanks so much for being with us today. Now, this is really an interesting conversation because, you know, we don't normally get to see children or young adults being able to actually stand up and have a voice when it comes to their rights and their protection. So can we just jump straight into what exactly the Child Right Ambassador program is about?
Excellent. Thank you so much, Natasha, for having us. We're very excited to share with the nation this powerful program. It is an initiative out of the Gender and Child Affairs Division in collaboration with UNICEF, and it seeks to ensure the 3 Ps out of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. These 3 Ps are protection, to ensure that children learn how to protect themselves and to protect their peers; participation, where children are allowed to participate in efforts that include them, that really speak to them; and of course looking at provision to ensure that they are provided with the resources that they need, and so that they can also provide others with their resources. And on our end, at Gender and Child Affairs, we're looking to use, utilize, and implement the 3 Ps as well by protecting our children based on their feedback, by providing opportunities for them to, of course, have everything they need, and participation by having them involved in every initiative that we do. So, for example, the National Child Policy of Trinidad and Tobago, we have children from across the nation, children with disabilities, children from community residences, who also help us to develop and implement the National Child Policy as a part of this powerful program.
It sounds great. Ajay, we're really looking forward to hearing from you a little bit later about what the experience has been like. But before we get into that, how long has this program been in existence?
All right. Okay, so this program has been in existence for the past 5 years. This is our 5th anniversary. So for the nation, we're calling on children between the ages of 10 to 16 to apply. So you can be a part of this historical 5th year anniversary by going on to Gender and Child Affairs on Facebook and Instagram, or Child Rights Amb on, of course, Facebook or Instagram, or our website, opm-gca.gov.tt. And if they click the of course, poster or the link in the bio on social media, they will see how they can apply to the registration form, so we can make this 5th anniversary a powerful one.
Sounds like it's going to be fantastic. But what is the eligibility criteria for the 10 to 16-year-olds? Is there something in particular that you're looking for?
Well, we are looking for young people who are about change, who are desirous of making a difference in their communities, young people who are involved in social action, community clubs, leadership groups, young people who are comfortable speaking out, recording videos, expressing their needs, young people who want to develop their lives, to develop their university applications in the later years, young people who just want to say, you know what, I want to help my peers. I've seen my peers struggle during COVID-19, and I want to be doing something to make a difference for them. So we're looking for willing and just powerful and just dedicated young people who are not afraid.
Willing, powerful, and dedicated young people that aren't afraid. So, Ajay, you fit that bill?
Yeah, I believe so.
You believe so? No, you do. You're here with us this morning, so you definitely do. Ajay, what has your experience been like as a Child Rights Ambassador so far?
Well, it's been a year at this point, and I have been involved in many programs, and I have also contributed to the National Child Policy. I've been on many interviews. I have done programs at my school to really let the students know about their rights and, more equally, their responsibilities, because it's all well and good to have rights, but you must be aware of your responsibilities as a child. So It's been a fun, very busy year, I must say. I'm juggling school work as well, but it's been very rewarding.
You're prepping for adulthood, definitely, juggling school and work. But tell me something, Ajay. Aside from, of course, you know, going out there and getting this message across there, teaching your fellow brothers and sisters and friends and everybody about rights, do you enjoy this process?
Of course I do. I get to do amazing stuff like being on TV. So that's really cool. But also to ensure that people know that they are worth more than what their abuser or whatever has to say to them. Because, sometimes we are humbled to the point where we don't understand how valuable we are. And so it's when we understand our rights and our responsibilities, we can excel and we can exceed and surpass the limitations set for us. So I enjoy seeing persons excel and exceed beyond their expectations when they understand and live their rights.
All right. Good morning to you, AJ. Natalie here. I just wanted to know if, you found that this program has helped you, if you found that this program has helped you to build your confidence and to be, more aware of even who you are as a person.
Of course, as a child rights ambassador, I'm involved in public speaking nearly every month. During the training, we had different mock interviews, and so we were exposed to how it would feel to be here this morning, and that has really boosted my confidence. Even being, even under the title as Child Rights Ambassador, being introduced in that way, it really boosts my confidence every time.
And I think that mock interview makes you realize how important it is to be prepared. Like, we don't just show up here, it's that we have to put in the work.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So, if we could go back to you, Mr. Moses, for a second. What is the duration of training for ambassadors like AJ, and how long does it normally take?
All right, great. Thank you for that. So our ambassadors, fortunately, once they are trained, they are ambassadors until they're 18. So they get to promote and just continue to develop over the years. So, for example, we have one of our standing ambassadors, Priyanka Lala. She was trained about 2 or 3 years ago, and she was 13, I think, or 12. And she has continued over the past 3 years promoting child rights to the point where UNICEF identified her and said, hey, we want to make her a UNICEF Global Youth Advocate. And so she's the first UNICEF youth advocate from the Eastern Caribbean's 12 countries, straight out of Trinidad and Tobago, making history and speaking globally with the Financial Times, with presidents from around the world. So Priyanka represents that. And so what we have learned is that once we train these children at this age, once they are trained, they continue to advocate for rights in their communities, regionally, and the world. So there is just that first period where we train them, but during a training session on how to do videos, how to do graphic design, how to advocate for their rights, learning about the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And after that session, they have a duration to develop that content. Then we put it online on our social media pages, which you must follow for more information at Gender and Child Affairs and the Child Rights AMB, and on Instagram and on Facebook. And then we have voting for that process. Then we choose the top male and female, and then they will continue to represent along with the 150 other ambassadors that we seek to recruit this year.
That's a very interesting process, because I was just here trying to figure out what the training entailed. But even so, how do you choose initially who to reach out to, who to capture? Is there a quiz or something that you put out that people just, apply to, and then you go from there?
Certainly. So there are two ways that we do it. One, we look for children from specific backgrounds. So one, we look for children from community residences, that's our children's homes. So we've trained them over the past 5 years. Then we also look for children living with disabilities, because it's very important to include them. So they also advocate for their rights. And then for the general public, we do this media work, we do advertisements in collaboration with UNICEF. We market it through schools, we write letters to all schools in Trinidad and Tobago. And then we have all of these children apply. And then there's a criteria to shortlist them, to choose the ones who we think are representative of all of Trinidad and Tobago. We even pay attention to areas where there are high incidences of abuse reports out of the Children's Authority's reports. And so we bring together this very diverse cohort of young people who then come together after we select them to go out and say, hey, let me help my peers, let me educate my adults, let me make a difference.
So the 5th anniversary of the division and the work that it's been doing, how are you going to be celebrating it?
Wow, that's an excellent question. Of course, the deadline applies the 14th of October. That's coming up on Tuesday. And we're going to be celebrating it by firstly commemorating it on World Children's Day. And we have a special surprise we're happy to announce. We've collaborated with UNICEF to include other children from around the Caribbean to be a part of this year's program and training. and to also launch it. So we're going to have Caribbean children joining our Trinidad and Tobago children for the first time to really celebrate the training and reach, because UNICEF has said, hey, we love this program, we want to expand it throughout the region. So these young people will be a part of history. So Child Rights Ambassadors goes global this year.
Sounds fantastic. Well, we are out of time, but just very briefly, I know that you're going to be having it virtually this year. So where can we get more information? On Facebook? I know you're supposed to be having a webinar as well, if that's correct.
That's correct. So you can go onto Child Rights Amb on Instagram. You can follow us there, and on Facebook, or you can go to Gender and Child Affairs on Instagram or Facebook. You can click the link in bio and you will see some videos from the past. But if you click the link in bio, you can complete the short application form. Very easy, very simple. Or you can go to our website at opm-gca.gov.tt and you can click the banner that's about Child Rights Ambassadors and apply by the 14th of October, and then just look out for an email saying, hey, you've been selected and you'll join us to make a difference nationally, regionally, and also internationally.
Fantastic. Making a global difference with none other than our very own right here in sweet Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you so much for being with us this morning, Mr. Moses and AJ. Wishing you all the best as you continue to represent Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you so much.